For me, ways of soothing myself through this transition, and by transition I mean all the transitions that are happening for me, transitioning into uncertainty, into newness. It is a beautiful day outside. So I'm gonna begin by saying, first, I am grateful that I am able to be outside right now at the park. It is a beautiful day. The sun is out for the first time in like 2 weeks. The wind is blowing. The air is clear. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because I'm not lying in my bed depressed, crying. As the person who I was a year or 6 months ago, that would have been me. So I'm grateful that I am still moving and getting up and finding my way, whatever that looks like. Embracing things as they come, like I was saying in my last video, practicing hopping over obstacles, embracing uncertainty, or just things that happen that we don't plan for. And two, practicing to not have expectations. And that's a hard one, for real. But practicing not to have expectations, but to just continue to put my front feet forward, one in front of the other, in any situation, with anything that comes my way. The reason I love breath work over meditation, which it's still in the same family. Hi. It's because with breath work, it's more intentional. You are more in tune with your breath. You are just becoming aware of something you are already doing. Excuse me for looking this way, y'all. That sun is she here, okay? So just excuse me. I'm just going. Yeah, there we go. So you're already breathing anyway. We just have to become aware of our breath. In most of us, when we are breathing, we're breathing from the chest area, especially when we feel anxious or frustrated or angry. Sometimes we stop breathing completely when we feel moments of stress. So I have to remind myself that in those moments especially, is to take a few slow, deep breaths. There's another one, I'm not sure the name, but I know you can inhale for 4, hold for 7, hold your breath for 7, and then you exhale for 8. And I love that one too, because you can literally use that in moments where you feel like you finna just blow up. And y'all, please know that this is something that I am also practicing. I am not an expert, I am not a professional. However, I know that my breath is powerful and your breath is powerful, and there are so many things we can do with our breath to help us in situations. If we need more energy, there are different techniques and different practices that we can do to increase our energy with our breath naturally, something that is free versus a cup of coffee versus energy drink or those toxic monster drinks or anything. You can do it with your breath. Right now for me, I'm focusing on calming my nervous system, because that's just what I need to do for myself in this moment. Calming my nervous system, the parasympathetic system. I believe I'm saying it right. If I'm not, I'll put it on the screen. So that's when it's our nervous system, and we are going to calm it down by breathing deeply and slowly through the diaphragm, which is this area right here. So again, I'm gonna turn to the side. So, so as you breathe in, you inhale, Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And when starting off, I think it's best to count until you start to feel that in your body, when you know, like, your diaphragm is expanding and contracting. You'll know. But starting off, I think it's best to count. That way too, you're focusing on counting and on the breath itself versus all these thoughts that might be coming up. And even though thoughts are okay to come, they're not going to, it's like a cloud passing by. Somebody explained it like a cloud passing by. The thoughts are okay, you acknowledge it, you are the observer of your thoughts, and you just allow your thoughts to be without ruminating, without focusing too much or pondering on those. You can go direct yourself back to your breath. And again, this is practice. It takes practice. I'm still not where I want to be with the breath work. However, I'm where I need to be in this moment. I am. So yes, I absolutely love breath work, and I know that that is one way to soothe myself fully and to help me in so many different ways. Along with moving my body. I don't know if I mentioned this on one of my other videos, but I bought a pole. I bought a pole like the beginning of this year, I believe, to help me focus more on being in my body versus being in my head. It's a great full body workout. It will also help me find my inner sexy, if you will, to build my confidence, and also with flexibility, stability, strength, the whole nine, full body, head to toe practice or exercise. I absolutely love it. It is helping me build my upper strength, my core strength, and I get to put my passion and my sensual energy into that, or my sexual energy into something that is also helping me feel good, full body. So I have that. Other ways that I am soothing myself through all of these transitions are like right now, coming out to the park, talking, expressing, praying, crying. I recommend crying at least once a week. I do. And now, I'm not saying forcing yourself to cry. However, if you need to cry, let it out. If it's in the shower, if it's in the bed, if it's wherever you feel safe to do so, allow those emotions to come out of you. And I'm talking to myself too. But one thing about me, I'm a professional crier, okay? I am a professional crier. I can say that. I be crying, okay? And it's not necessarily always a sad cry. Sometimes it's just a cry of I'm so thankful. It's a cry of me forgiving myself, of forgiving others, or just being thankful for this moment, being outside, being able to breathe fresh air, being able to be around trees, and being around love. Sometimes my tears, the cleansing, I like to call it cleansing. When you are crying, you are cleansing your soul. You are releasing those emotions that probably have been trapped. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they haven't cried in years, and I want you to know that it is okay to cry. You are not weak for doing so. You are human. Okay? Actually, you're more than human, but you are human, and you are supposed to cry, especially when you feel. So yeah. Other ways, of course, are for me just dancing, which goes along with pole, but just dancing as in moving my hips, moving my body, um, flowing, and just being intentional with the way that I move. A lot of emotions, especially for myself and women, a lot of emotions are stored here in the hip area. So I do stretches that will allow me to open my hip area. It will allow me to open my hip area to release those emotions. Is y'all shaking? This is the wind. And y'all might be shaking a little. It's the wind out here, but just bear with me. You do exercises or stretches. Well, not exercises. It's really stretches. Which is why I love pole and yoga versus going to the gym. I'm just not a gym girly, and I have accepted that about myself. And that's why I chose to also do the pole and just stretching, yoga, dancing, all of that. So you release all those trapped emotions that are here and your heart center as well. Sometimes when we are stressed out, myself especially, I can literally feel and hear my chest like popping or like this little crinkling sound. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm realizing because, for one, am I breathing? I have to make sure that I'm breathing. I have to make sure that I'm doing stretches that allow me to, do this and stretch all those areas of your body. Like, I did not realize how important it is to stretch until like last year and this year. I'm like, yes, this is a necessity. This is your medicine. I tell people, especially people who are older, that just because you get older does not mean you have to lose your mobility, your strength, your flexibility. Just do a 10-minute stretch every day to keep your body and to keep the fascia. I've learned that too, that the fascia in your body, it's like a tissue. And if we're not moving and stretching, it gets like sticky and stuck together. So we have to stretch and continue to move our bodies and our hands from literally, and I'm gonna make more videos about this particularly. I'm gonna make more videos about this, specifically about stretching and breath work on their own, but I just want to get all of this out and give people ideas and ways to get out of the fight and flight response, for us to get out of our heads so much, to find the spaces in between each thought so we can just relax and just to remain as calm as we can be with how we're feeling. So mind you, this is not to not feel. This is to be able to feel and also to be able to cope with your feeling. And so it can be a little less intense, a little less painful, a little less uncomfortable, a little less, hard, whatever. I know for a fact that every human being, if we have the privilege to, we should be moving our bodies. We should be becoming more aware of our breath. For me, let me be a bit vulnerable. I grew up with anger issues, a bad attitude, if you will say that. Bad attitude, not knowing how to regulate my emotions. But I grew up with an attitude problem, and I never knew how to regulate my emotions. I didn't know. I just didn't know. People used to call me bipolar, moody, all of these things growing up. And now at this time of my life, I look back on that and I'm like, yes, that I don't ever want to go back to that girl again. So to lay her down with love, that shadow side, to lay that shadow side, to water that shadow side, I know that it is a necessity for me to do breath work. It is a necessity for me to find ways, healthy ways, to release anger, to release rage, to release pain, to release sexual energy as well, with activities and hobbies and through dance. It is critical for me and I know people, every time people say stuff like this, people be like, oh, here she go with the astrology. We can all believe what we want, but I know for me, Scorpio moon or no Scorpio moon. I'm just letting that be known. I am a Scorpio moon. But regardless of that, for those who do not believe in astrology, I know myself enough, and I know that I have always been intense with my emotions. Whether those emotions are high or low or good, bad, whatever label we want to put on the emotions are just what they are. And my emotions have always been intense. Joy, pain, sadness, frustration, overwhelm. I have always been an intense person. And with that, I have to put that intensity into something that is not destructive, that is not going to harm me, and that is going to help me versus harm me. So for the Scorpio moons out there, trust me, I get it. I get it. And overall, no matter what a person believes or don't believe, as human beings, we have to keep our bodies moving. We have to breathe properly in order to get through these times. Breathing especially. Because I just want all of us to be okay. I want all of us to be, or at least feel, some type of ease and peace within, because we deserve that, okay? I just wanted to come on here again and talk about that, to let myself know, and whoever else is interested know that these are the things that I'm doing to soothe myself, to soothe my soul, to soothe my mind, to soothe my heart, to soothe my body, to soothe everything within me. Thank you so much for witnessing, watching, experiencing, and being. I love you, and you are everything, okay? You are love. To the girls, to the girlies out there, I love you. I respect you. I care about you. I honor you. And I stand up for you. Okay? So yes, thank you so much for watching.